long-time holder, Evernode and Zahao. Actually, yes, since the Evernode airdrop. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Love what you're doing. But I
Thanks.
was just wondering, from your perspective, big players in the space, where do you see the demand for hooks coming from over the next, say, 12 to 24 months?
For hooks or for Evernode?
Mainly hooks.
On Zahao, from anybody who's trying to develop on Zahao, I guess. So um, we have at least one bank that's using hooks, about to use hooks on Zahao to meet its regulatory compliance requirements. Um, Most of the demand for hooks just comes from people who need some sort of on-chain logic that executes automatically. So a lot of it's not even that complicated. Certainly, Evernode uses hooks for its all of its registry and its distribution logic and so on. Yeah, the interest in hooks keeps growing because people invariably try to do something and then they realize, oh, I really need this to happen automatically, and I need it to happen on chain. I don't want to have payments that I need to reverse, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. I can't do this, and I can't do that. And then they start out with like a small hook that does a small thing, and then they add some more logic to it. And I mean, the answer is the users. The users have the demand for hooks.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just was wondering if it was more of a versatile tool, or if you had like an idea of, okay, this is what this is very good for in these instances.
It's good for any last mile logic that you need, any anything that needs to happen automatically on chain before a payment is entered into an account. Um, any sort of compliance things where you can't accept transactions from certain parties or countries or whatever, where there's a flag that you need to verify somebody first, or um, all sorts of compliance use cases like that, where sort of one of the primary intentions of it, and then all of the rest of the logic of smart contracts have sort of come for free.
There's kind of two levels to it. One is because you're installing it on an account, it's something that everybody who uses the How can use and might use for doing. We just discussed the Evernode forwarder hook. So a lot of the hosts, people who run multiple hosts on Evernode, use the hook to send their Evernode rewards into a centralized account just to clear out their hosts. And that's a hook that you use because it's on your account. It's doing something that you want. But then there's a level where you, like what Evernode does, it uses hooks not for itself, but for everyone on the Evernode network to help decentralize it. So there are hook use cases that mimic what smart contracts do on Ethereum. And particularly if you've got a project on Zahao, you can use hooks to effectively get it's almost like a synthetic native asset. It's an ERC20 token, but there's no party behind it because the issuing can be controlled by a hook, and you can black hole the account that the hook is installed on. You now get something that's automated and decentralized, and it's not a particular person who's looking to use it. It's a service that's being provided to a range of, or to anyone who wants to use it. And I think those two different use cases mean that you're just going to see lots and lots of hooks. There's already, is it XRP Win? His Explorer shows you all the live hooks that are on Zahao at the moment. And it's an interesting look at just how prevalent hooks already are, because they're things that you can install on your account. You don't need anyone's permission to install them. No one needs to even know they're there. The thing that we used hooks for, the key thing we got out of hooks was if someone sent a registry payment and they underpaid or overpaid, we could simply send the transaction back. Whereas if you're on the XRP ledger, it's a valid transaction, it's just the wrong amount. And so what you've now got is a wrong payment that you've got to manually reverse with another payment.
Yeah, which is actually not always easy to do because the payment could have come out of an exchange, right? So, and then they didn't necessarily populate the source tag, so then you don't know what destination tag to set and so on. So one of the problems with the XRP ledger is that it doesn't have reversible payments or smart contracts. It's like you need one of those. You need a way to stop a transaction coming in the first place if it doesn't meet your criteria for compliance or accounting reasons, or you need a way to properly undo a transaction, like to reverse all of its effects in a way such that it essentially never happened. If you don't have either of those, which the XRP ledger unfortunately doesn't, then it becomes unsuitable for a whole bunch of different business use cases.